Hey, so here I am with Dorene Hauff, and we're going to be talking about her amazing new deck called Behind the Mask: Lessons from the Pandemic. So welcome, Dorene. So I'm just so curious. First of all, I want to know what got you in how'd you get the idea to even make a deck of cards in the first place?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I'm actually working on another deck that is, yeah, that's how I got to you, was for a healing course. And then one day I was with my friends and I had just looked at or watched your presentation, and I was visiting them in Columbia or Cambria, where by the beach, and we decided we'll take a walk. And I got so excited about this whole idea of a deck, and I was talking to them about it. And we're walking down to the beach, and along the way, I see masks thrown everywhere. And I go, I got an
Mm,
idea. I said, let's do a deck about what happens when we make up our mind we're not going to wear these things, or what have we learned from wearing these. And so one of my friends said, yeah, let's do it. So we did.
wow, because it's such a, well, I don't want to say it's a unique concept, but it is a unique concept because, we've
We haven't had a pandemic for many years, right?
right, right. So that's pretty amazing. So who are the cards for?
Well, many audiences, I believe, for people that are looking for inspiration. I think it'd be great for teachers in the classroom. And that's sort of my background, not classroom, but County Office of Education and teaching at-risk youth. So
Mm,
it made sense to me that that would be the perfect venue for them. Also for counselors working with families and dealing with children and all of the issues that have happened through the pandemic. And then, how we wade through getting back to whatever we call normal.
mm.
So those were the main kind of the venues I was looking at.
Right, right, right. So they're absolutely gorgeous in their
Thank
color,
you.
and
Thank you.
each different color has a different color mask on it. So they're totally fabulous, gorgeous looking. So I
Thank you.
wanted to make sure everybody saw that. So why don't you do a reading for us? Take your cards and do kind of, and just kind of, we'll start there and kind of seeing what they're all
Okay.
about.
All right. Let's pick one here. First one I chose was create your tribe. Well, what that is, of course, is creating your people, your peeps that make you feel good. So it
Mm,
says define your tribe that honors, respects, and supports you. And then spend time together doing mutual activities that you all enjoy, like sharing food, playing games, making holidays special. The lesson from this is a happy tribe brings good vibes. So when
mm,
you're happy within the people you surround yourself with, then you're happy internally.
mm. So do you think that that card has something more to do, like, is it more of a reminder during this time that we've been through, that's even more important with your tribe, or more difficult? That how do you
I
relate
think
that
we've
to?
been isolated from our tribes for the last
Mm,
year, and we have to re-engage, but maybe we need to re-engage differently. Maybe we need to assess, are these the people I really truly want to surround myself with? Are they positive? Are
mm.
they feeding my soul? Am I feeding theirs? Is this a mutual energy relationship?
So it kind of sounds like then that you're really just since you're making us take a deeper look at, like, how our lives maybe were before. What do we want to be different? Right?
Yes,
Like, is this being the
absolutely.
the the stopping point of, like, okay, let me get my act together, or let me get what I want in this lifetime.
Absolutely. It's redesigning what our tomorrows look like.
Hmm.
And we have that control to make our life better. We don't have to go back to the same patterns. If we were in relationships that weren't positive, that did not feed us and make us whole and happy, and we weren't doing the same for that person, then we might want to change that. Maybe not spend so much time with them.
Yeah. It's so interesting, right? That we just go along with things and we don't always take a deep look. Like it takes something for us to take a deeper look.
Yes. And I
So,
think this pandemic has really made us look at a lot of things.
yeah,
I mean, it's just been an incredible experience. I mean, I've been around for a long time here. And in my 74 years, I've never, ever had to face anything like this before. You know, the
yeah,
isolation, the being fearful of going shopping. So many of my friends, which I discovered was something doesn't help me or feed me, is fear. I'm just not a fearful person. And so I did not harbor that fear about going to the grocery store or being around people. I was cautious, yes. I did not go in big groups, but I always went to the grocery store and I wore my silly mask and, I just did what I was supposed to do, but
mm,
there was no fear involved.
yeah. Well, I think that's really important because it's like whenever you make any decisions from fear, it's never a good, you don't ever get a good answer when it comes from fear.
Right, I agree.
So would you like to pull another one for us? Show us something else.
Sure. Let's see, here's one. Compassion. Having
Mm,
compassion for others demonstrates caring and the desire to offer resources. Authentic sharing helps to understand each other's point of view, new way to look at life, listen to others without judgment,
mm,
practice acts of kindness, and offer encouragement. The lesson from this, in order to make the world a more caring place, we must step outside of ourselves and understand others. And I know you as well as everybody else, we've all experienced such hatred, such misunderstanding, judgment, valuing what somebody does or doesn't say, just being so judgmental about everything.
yeah.
And that's this whole card deck kind of is around that. Let's not judge anymore. Let's go forward and love one another. Let's do why we were put here. Do good.
Yeah. And I would probably say that's probably the hugest lesson of all from this, right? Is because
I
there was
think
so
so.
much judging and, why isn't everybody doing what I think everybody should do,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And you need to, yeah, it's like somebody talking about the political aspect. You need to think like I think. Well, I want to hear your views, of course, and I'll honor them, but I'm
Mm,
not going to have to feel that I have to change my views. That's the important part.
right. Interesting. So you say here too, in summary, that as the pandemic life fades and we abandon restrictions, let's join together to reconstruct our new reality, one that embraces the lessons and insights we've learned in order to support our one humanity. And then you give a couple of little pointers, focus on the things that matter, reach out to help others, support for justice and equity, notice with gratitude the beauty around us, and listen to others for understanding, respect humanity as we all inhabit this earth. So, yeah, I mean, no matter what's going on, those are really good lessons to incorporate,
Mhm.
really good things to follow in your life, right?
Absolutely. And wouldn't it
Nice.
be a lovely planet that we lived on if we could all do that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Exactly. So how was because you could see that a lot of work went into this, a lot of thought behind it. Starting from that seeing the masks on the beach, right? How was the
Right.
creation process for you?
How was a which
The
process?
creation process as far
Oh,
as
the
coming up with
creation.
all of these, juicy tidbits to go in here.
Well, we used your map and we broke it down into category and then we just start brainstorming. And once we did that, it's like, I don't know, it didn't take us long. It took us a while to define and refine it. And of
Mm,
course, we had our graphic artist work on it. Um, and he did a magnificent
yes, you
job of
did a great
colors,
job.
didn't he?
Yeah.
And so it really, from start to finish, wasn't awful. It was more fun than it was awful.
Good.
Sometimes,
Well, I'm happy about that. It's supposed to be fun, but
yes, it
the fact
was.
that it flowed, like, so I believe we all have this message, we all have this gift. So the fact that it flowed to you, like you were divinely inspired to
Absolutely.
share about those, all the different levels of the mask. So it came flowing through you.
And it worked well because Sandy, who is the lady that we did to this together, Sandy Volpe, she is a retired nurse, and I come from a counseling background, so educational and counseling. And so we just had a lot of the stuff that needed to be said already there, in
Yeah.
our heads.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So let me ask you this. What did you learn about yourself during this process? The process of making this card deck, what did you specifically learn?
I'm impatient, but I knew that anyway, but
Mm.
it just reinforced it. When I get on a roll, I'm on a roll, and I put a timeline to Sandy. I go, I want these done in 3 months. So I don't know why, I just think it has to happen in 3 months. And so that's what we did, and we accomplished that. The roadblocks for us that I found in my impatience was we didn't understand a lot of the written things that were supposed to guide us through the process. So that was frustrating because
Mm.
we downloaded everything, we read it 20 billion times, and there was 2 of us reading it, and we still just didn't get a lot of it.
Right. Well, you made it through though. You came up with a gorgeous product. So tell us, you also have some other things going on. You're a newly published author,
Oh my
correct?
gosh. At the very same time I was doing the cards, I mean, exact same time, I was helping write this book. So there's 10 of us involved. It's called Wild and Wise Women Around the World.
Mm.
10 inspiring women unleash their wild. And what it is, it's a compilation of 10 of us that have just shared our life story kind of in shortness. About how we became practitioners of energy healers in one way or another. And they're all different. They're totally unique stories.
Nice. Nice. So you,
The process about that was I met such amazing women.
yeah, and collectively working on something together like that is kind of cool.
It was. And we're all from different parts. I mean, Africa, Grenada, just all over the place. So that was exciting for me.
Nice.
But it put a lot of pressure. And I realized that while I was trying to do this deck of cards, I was also editing a book, and maybe it was too much. So that's what I learned about myself, is I can
Mm.
overload.
Yeah. And you also had the tenacity to
Get through it.
get through it, to stick to it, and to come out the other side, right?
And it
Without,
was really nice having a partner to do it with, because she would
yeah,
say, when are we meeting? So that kept us on track.
yeah, that accountability piece.
Yes, it's great.
I love that. So what would you want people to know? Like I think you shared something so much wisdom in that, you told us you're 74 years old, and there's been nothing in your life that has happened like this before, or hit you like this did. So tell us what your biggest, I guess, aha or moments was for this time.
For the pandemic, is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about? I think it was just being true to myself.
Mm.
That I do not want to be angry. I do not want to engage in people's fear. I don't, I can't stay home all the time. I have a life, and I have wonderful children and 12 grandchildren. I just couldn't stop life. Careful, yes. Didn't go to big gatherings, but continued my life.
Excellent.
And that
Excellent.
was important to me.
Yeah. And, I think, yeah, as sovereign beings, right, we get to, free willed to
Right.
make the choices that we make in life.
That's right.
So, yeah, so that's fantastic. Um, Okay, so at the bottom of this video, there's going to be all kinds of links. How can people, reach out to you, find out more about you, work with you? What do you have going on?
Well, I'm a practitioner of healing energy, and I do all kinds of modalities. So I work with clients. I do a couple times a week because I am supposedly retired.
How's that working out for you?
Not so good. But I like to keep my hands in what I do. It's a gift that I was born with, and I like to share it. So I do that, and all the cards in the book are both on Amazon, so they're available, and you can reach me through my email.
Excellent. So we'll have all those links down here. And then one
Okay.
more thing, I kind of want to ask you, because we had kind of talked about this a little. You say, the name of this is Behind the Mask. So you also talk about that a little bit here, that we, not only do we put the mask on, for the pandemic or whatever, but we are wearing masks through our whole life, right?
Absolutely.
So just tell me a little bit about for maybe that people that don't, 'cause it takes a little insight to recognize that we're doing that. So
Yes.
sometimes we don't want to really admit that we're doing that. Like, what's the mask we're hiding behind? But we all do it in certain areas, right? So
Yes,
just
we
kind of
do.
share a little more about that, because it's an interesting concept.
We come into life as little beings, and we really don't have a concept of what our journey is going to be.
Mm.
But as we grow and develop, and we have relationships with our parents, with our siblings, whoever, we start putting on survival masks. Um,
Mm.
we try to hide our feelings. We try to be something different because maybe our best friend is real outgoing and I'm real shy. And that was me. I was really shy at one time. And that mask of insecurity, I was afraid to be me. So I just had insecurity and quietness put there to protect me.
Mm.
And then another time in my life, I needed security. And so that mask went up, where I tried to look like I was just fine when in fact I was feeling pretty insecure. And then there was a time when my husband was killed and I had to go into being a widow. And that was a mask. And I had to wear that for a
Mm.
while until I could redefine who Dorene was. I mean, I had no clue. I'd been married forever and we had sailed the oceans around the world and lived on our sailboat. And all of a sudden, I had to change who I was.
Wow.
So that survival mask went up for quite a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Wow.
So we all do it. We don't
Yeah.
like to admit that we do it. But yeah, we do indeed do it.
Fascinating. Yeah, it's so fascinating. And I mean, even your walk on the beach as the inspiration, I think is a pretty fascinating story
Mhm.
to, someone else might have walked by and maybe not even notice them, right? And so it's interesting.
There were a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I notice them.
It
They're
was
all over the
really
street
hard
here.
to ignore them. Then I called my friends for this one here, and I asked them to send me their favorite mask. And so we took
Ah.
these and we stiffied them so we could arrange them and they would stay in that
Oh,
arrangement.
wow.
And
Wow.
so they're from all over the world, actually. The friends sent us these wonderful masks.
So that's
And
a
one of my
very interesting
daughters sent me
story.
this. I know. And one of the, let's see where it is. It's this one right here. My daughter in Virginia sent to me, and it says, I don't want to go outside. It's too peoply out there.
Oh,
That's so Sean. She's just, yeah, I'll stay
oh my
inside.
God, that's great. That is really great.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. So
So
what's the, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's just a combination of lots of people wanting to be a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. What did you do with all those stiffy masks now?
They're stuck right here, sitting in a bag. I was going to make an art project. I'm also an artist. So I was going to make an art project.
I think that'd be
I just
great.
haven't had time to do that yet.
Yeah, sculpture of some sort.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I like it. I like it. So what's the, if you had to, have a final message for everybody, what would you want them to know?
be ready to explore what's behind your mask
Mm,
and try and move forward in the future in the most positive, loving, non-judgmental way you can.
excellent. Nice. Thank you so much. And all of your links are going to be below this video so people can reach out to you and get
Yeah.
some of your yummy work. They can also, there'll be a link to get the cards as well. So, all right. Thank you so much, Doreen.
Thank you, Rosie. Bye-bye.